Okay, fellas, have some stuff to talk about, some interesting things. So, try and think about the theories I've explained to you a bit, and just how different these times are. Chances are you're someone that knows like esoteric knowledge is something to get into, spirituality is something to get into if you've been fucking with my shit. And Om Saram, Om Saram, Om Saram, Om Saram, Jesus, Om Saram, Om Saram, Om Saram. Blessings to you. 1 second. Alright. See, right there, I'm interacting with my world. Like, I just put Reki on my stairs. I just pushed anyone that's not in my family out of my house. For an example. Right? So, I guess one of the things I'm going to talk about is, so, everyone, we have our higher selves, and then we have, like, even, like, sort of like our lateral selves, like spiritual selves, and the more spiritually advanced you are, the more advanced you are up there, and the more connected you are too. And just the more you learn, and the more you know, right? So, you might. There's people that will get caught in things, and people that won't get caught in things up there, and even down here, right? So, anyways, but like you bring them around you, like they're like almost always around you at one level, depending on your inner vibration. Like if you're someone that really wants the idea of people watching you, like you are giving these your friends, your families, people that know you, people who thought about you, have an attachment to you, you're allowing them to watch you at another plane, or in these or in these lateral spiritual zones or higher self spiritual zones, and they'll watch you, and they will even incentivize you, talk to you, or incentivize other higher selves, and all sorts of stuff. Like they will, if they think you're gay, if they think you should go date this person, for example, they will try and make that happen with their influence, and they'll influence your own mind too. Okay, like 100%, like in the astral world, spiritual world, like if you are like thinking about someone sexually, like they 100% respond in the spiritual world, for example, and like if you're just paying attention and heighten your awareness, like you feel that, like you feel that, so you can go hang out with people in the spiritual world, um, cuddle people in the spiritual world, have sex with them in the spiritual world, and you'll feel it, and you'll get through your release and all that, and relaxation and whatever, camaraderie or whatever union, whatever you want to say. But once you start, if you have these, you start bringing people around, and you start bringing around in the lateral selves is like more based on imagination, like your own imagination, and but it still wants to pull people into imaginations, and like you'll pull them in, and I think it has to do with your right hemisphere. Like if you start, I've talked about these, like the imagination zone or the lateral self zone. Like if you, let's say you're sitting down with someone there in front of you, if you just imagine yourself getting up and talking to them, like they will respond most of the time, 95% of the time or more. They're responding because their right hemisphere is open. They have somewhat of an attachment or openness with you, that you and them will share a right hemisphere space pretty quickly, if not always. And that's like the creative part of you. It's like the imagination part of you. And if you are always doing crazy things in this part of you, you bring people into your right hemisphere, or less people that don't meditate and stuff. Like you can potentially bring them, and they'll be around you a lot. But like they'll be like, "Come on, I want to have like sex with you. I want to like, like, because like for example, like you could be thinking, like imagining having sex with a female, right? But there's someone in your right hemisphere that is coming in and receiving it because you're just not that aware or something like that, and then they stick around, and they stick around because you're not doing anything with intention to get rid of them either, for example. But like, and so the next night they want to have sex with you, or they're making you feel horny, stuff like that, right? There's people that want to imagine with you. They want to imagine with you, and they also want to see, literally live through you vicariously, or even give you advice and stuff like that, right? So if you're feeling yourself acting like weird ways, weird urges, like in your chakras, like sexually, it's almost just go, like, kind of become free, and then go fly over to the person who is making this thought and be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's that easy. Like, that type of intention right there. Like, you fly over to the person, and like yourself will tell them the right thing. Trust me. Like, you just have that intention to tell them off or be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what the fuck's your problem? And the urges will go away, and these weird things in your mind will go away. A lot of people's anxiety comes from arguments in the spiritual world, in the lateral world and higher self and stuff. And a lot of people aren't up to date in these worlds either. Like, they're just not up to date. Like, they still think they're like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's like bits and pieces will be worked out, but then they can be old karma. Like, oh, like, are you growing shrooms in the house? Like, my mom was like, keep asking me if I'm growing shrooms in the house. Like, no, I don't grow shrooms in the house. Like, I haven't grown shrooms in the house for really long, and she should know that. But like in the spiritual world, she's like still like trying to figure that out. You know. And so it's like, this is why you don't want to get too narcissistic or too far in your imagination, like with like long-winded stories and stuff, because it takes up your right hemisphere, and then it also like opens you up to influence and even other people coming into your right hemisphere and stuff like that, and you start to create like a server for other people. You know, if you're a yogi, your server is very blissful, and like you're super powerful, and people will try and abuse that or may want to abuse that. You know, and the server is in your right hemisphere. It's your creative zone, and it's literally like your kundalini's over here, basically. Like, you know, if you have something, yeah. So, you know, there's people's heart, like lateral selves and higher selves, and they're kind of always with you. But you can talk to them like almost all the time. Like, once you get the epiphany or realization or like clearness, you can talk to them. And it's crazy. It's crazy the stuff I've heard and seen, and yeah, it's really interesting stuff. But like, you know, like I've heard like my friend like who was like really into like Rocky and like working out and stuff. Like, he was trying to like, you know, he was trying to make me like get some girl who like I definitely had no business fucking like messing with. Like, she has a boyfriend. Like, he was trying to make me go, Adrian to her in the spiritual world, and he's playing the Rocky theme song and shit. I'm like, bro, no, dude, don't do that. Like, I don't need her coming around because her higher self used to bother me. And but like, dude, like, so a good part of this though is like your friends and your family are always there to help you, like always there to help you, especially in the spiritual world. And like, a thing to do is like, you can just talk to them or ask them to help you, but like, you can be like, it's like you have to get into meditative zones to hear and see like the really beautiful stuff. But like, they'll play music, they'll laugh. You know, if you're doing certain stuff, like if you walk around and do something cool, like they'll play music like while you do it. Like, it all depends on what type of mind or person you're communing with or sharing a space with at that time. And a lot of people, you just kind of think of them, and then they show up, and you guys share some space or time, and they leave, and there's just like this attachment that's left, or like slight God like resonance that will just pulse out at them. Like, it's like we're all in like a zip file. Not really. Like, that's such a bad way to put it. Like, it's like everyone's essence is just still there, and if you need them to come and help you, like, they'll come and help you, or you can go and get them or something like that. But yeah, like, you know, you can realize like, wait, who am I allowing in my space? Like, who am I doing this with my time? Like, it's like I was imagining something, and like all this odd future type music would be playing. It was like a music video, and I'm like, oh, this is my boy Justin. Like, and I was just thinking of him, like, that makes sense because like he loves this type of music, and like I don't really listen to the music, like, you know. But yeah, and like these higher selves and stuff like this is really cool because, you know, for example, you can make like advanced poetry, you can speak uh, the perfect way you need to speak. You know, you just have to trust and let it come out, and it'll come out in these higher realms and stuff. And usually people are quite witty and hilarious and funny and extremely creative in these higher realms or horizontal realms of imagination or lateral. And yeah, but you know, it's you gotta be aware of the groups you're having around you. Like, I've definitely had like a lot of sexual groups. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like there used to be someone that would be in my bathroom that would be like like no lie, in these like right hemisphere like groups, like I would be smoking a lot of weed, like really enlightened, like feeling like one with God, like one with my guru. I don't know, like like feeling really enlightened and like feeling like God can just coming through me, and I definitely attracted a lot of attention over the years, and with like cities and stuff like that, and also my mind, and then just this like weird self sabotage part of me, and like unreconciled with sexuality things that I have now reconciled with for the most part. But like that, like created like so many people and groups of people would come around me, like consciously or unconsciously, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And there's been people that would want to, have sex with me, and they're gay, and their mind and desire and will, it gives you like this the sexual urge, like it makes you feel like what the fuck, like why do I have to keep grounding my bottom chakra, like as if someone wants to like, do something with my asshole, like, and that's because there literally are people that want to do something with my asshole, like literally there literally are people that would want to do that to me at that time, if they're not, they might not be aware of it from their 3D body, but their higher selves or horizontal self or lateral self is off doing this because it has desires and urges and whatever, and it's always cleaner and more clear and better where both people are like some type of spiritual practitioner, like you will commune and interact very well in these worlds. um, there's some people that are really cool, like I have one buddy that he's so cool because he doesn't have like any chakra attachment, like it's really hard for his chakra to get like attached to you, which is like I think that's the coolest thing, because I would get bothered by people like grounding into me, like their bottom chakra like grounding into me, like I would always get so bothered by that because I'm like, can you not like can you not do that please, and that, and I would like, and my self-sabotage would like test people in a way that like it's like if you didn't have mastery over your fucking like grounding bottom chakra capabilities and attachments, then like I would definitely grab it from you and like test you with it. It's real funny. But so like what I'm working with there is like karmic like energy strings and like perceptive channels, basically like things I'm scared of, like or some like stuff I just haven't become totally aware of, like that's bothering me. Like I can feel the energy canal of it and throw it away, and it's like past memories or right now, right hemisphere imagination, interactions with people, people's wants and desires. Like maybe someone wants to play, like a child wants to play with me, or my dad wants me to go eat dinner with him or something like that, and they'll be talking to me up here, and depending on like the level of like friction, like the tension or like a headache can build, and that's kind of, yeah, that's something that happens. But that happens if you're not like if you're really ignoring something that like you shouldn't ignore. Like you shouldn't get a build up like that. Like you should be able to like use your intentions or use your listening capabilities or mindfulness or meditation to like clear out this stuff and work on your life. So it's like, one of the real big things about meditation is that you clean out and download and assimilate and calibrate all all of yourselves just by just sitting in meditation. You like just have that intention, or like in general it just happens. And so like now you're not 16, you're fucking 20 now. In these higher realms, you're not drinking anymore because you gave up drinking already. You're not walking around with a cigarette, you know you because you downloaded and calibrated, so, and you're and like you saw more God, you have more realizations, you have more joy, you have more love, you have a higher vibration now, you know and so it's like a lot of people don't realize this, like your relationships are built on these higher realms, in these other realms, like, you know if you're like kind of just talking to someone and like you don't really know, it's like you're just kind of talking about normal things, or like you're just talking, like you have not even talking that much, but all of a sudden you start feeling very close with them or something like that, or you love them or whatever. Like that's because like you higher selves are going back and forth like, two peas in the pod. And you know, so it starts to get, you have to be surrendered to your guru or God if you're going to understand like and start connecting to this with your 3D body and use it with people, because like, you know, because it's not exactly like, it's real hairy because it gets like, okay, you're talking to a girl online, it's like when you, and like you like can offer to, hug her, right, or cuddle with her, right, and then instantly you can see that she wants that from you, or you guys just do it instantly because the resonance is there for both parties, right? And so it's like so it starts to get weird because they're not exactly 100% lucid of that, right, in their 3D bodies. So what are we doing, right? It's like, as long as you're just doing this from a place of like, relaxing flow, letting God come through, forgiveness, love, be sorry, I don't know, like, you're not doing it as a manipulation thing. I think it becomes aware when you're manipulating someone. Like, don't manipulate someone. It will bite you in the ass so hard. And they'll become aware of it. They will become aware of it. You know? Like, don't go and try and do stuff to people because, like, they'll become aware of it. Like, I've had times where, like, I was pushing it or whatever, and boom, like, some people just caught me red-handed, like, looked me right in the face. Like, a lot of people, like, they're psychic. They're not, like, for whatever reason, the resonance isn't there, like, or, like, they're not as psychic, but some people, like, you go and hit them up, and, like, they'll be right there. Like, what the fuck do you want? Like, and you're like, oh, shit. My bad. You know? And a lot of people, some people need to learn lessons too. Like, you need to learn lessons of, like, this is why you need to learn lessons of, like, the law of attraction and your inner, like, intentions. Because if you don't reconcile with that, then you can get, like, impeded upon because you aren't reconciling with your own law of attraction or your own intentions, your own desires. And then it's like someone may have sex with you, and it's like why they have sex with you? Like, if you didn't want to, why'd you let him? And it's like, because you didn't get down to the bottom of it with yourself, that you didn't want to have sex. Like, you have to be able to get down to the bottom of things like that. So, that's one reason to trust yourself and to know that you make proper decisions. Like, once you become aware of these realms, like, you definitely, because you're going to be sensitive to it, and you also might open it up. I would say one of the first things you want to be able to do before you start meditating even is to have complete control over your decisions. Like, really, at one level. Like, when I say that, I mean to have complete trust in your decisions. Like, know that like, if someone comes up and puts their penis in your face, that if you really truly don't want to suck their penis, like, you won't suck their penis, right? Like, that's something that type of groundedness, that type of um, solidness and, like, stance and faith and, like, understanding who you are and your decisions, you'll be fine then. You'll be fine. And the thing is, it's like, it's fucked up. It's fucked up, but you know, if I go up to you and you let me go, taser, 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 for an example, right? Like, of course, like, that's just funny. Like, most people let you do that. But it's like, you let me do that. You let me do that to you. You really did let me do that to you. Like, I've had really harsh lessons. Like, really harsh lessons. Like, getting raped. Like, getting raped in these worlds. Like, raped. Because I was, again, self-sabotaging, like, obsessive, OCD, did not trust myself at all. Right? And so I'd be like, what if I let him? What if I let him? Oh, I let him. And that would be my problem. Right? And it took me, a lot of, like, scenarios like that would happen, and all you have to do is just calm down and trust yourself. Calm down and trust yourself. Breathe, and assess your fear, and know that you can create the right decisions for yourself. Like, you know what you want. Like, just feel your feelings. Just feel your feelings. Like, whatever's arising when you start to not trust yourself, for example, or do the opposite of what you want to do or say, or say the opposite, just trace it and trust it, right? Like I said in these other videos, like, you can use the word trace as a spell or a prayer. The moment you start getting anxiety, trace. right? So that felt amazing. So it's like I said, your higher selves are so divine, can create symphonies like that, poetry like that. Okay, what do you think they're doing when you go trace? They're tracing your emotions at the level of divine sympathy, right? At the level of divine poetry, at the skill level of that, you're tracing your emotions. Okay, right? This is like one of the reasons this is really why you meditate. At one reason, like yes, the nervous system of the body, it's too like it's to calm the nervous system of the body, and like you get this intent, you get your intention going, and you start really opening up and allowing the higher selves to do the work. I don't care if it looks like a black screen to you down here. It's doing like beyond our comprehension divine work up there, your emotions and all that. It's like the wit I have heard from my higher self and other higher selves. Oh my God, it's like Ram Dass has said, like he's like, some of the poetry she wrote, like it just couldn't exist on this world. Like that's what he's getting at. Like the wit, the intelligence, the creativity, the almost like pre-planning or foreseeing in the comedy is like hilarious, that like your higher self is capable of, and it's like so intelligent and so intricate. So like, and then you just do that with like a basic intention. They come out and you just like roast someone, come out like make a song, basic intention down here, like it's like like amazing music, and so you just have the basic intention down here to get down to the bottom of your anxiety, and big guy upstairs, God and you, all souped up, go and get it working out for you. So that's why healing from your emotions and trauma with meditation is simple. It's simple. It can be the worst shit ever, but it's like you're so beyond it and so intelligent. God loves you, and so intelligent and stuff that it's simple. It's actually simple to fix it. You just have to meditate, and the meditation, allows the higher self to do that work, and then it also allows you to just consolidate, download, calibrate, right, with all the things that did the work, and boom, now the thing you've been anxious about all the time, or that weird anxious feeling you've had all the time, has gone away. And I'm telling you, a lot of times, these anxious feelings, these weird behaviors, like behaviors that are not you, that are embarrassing to you, a lot of the times, it's because you got someone that's projecting majorly on you as their higher self, as their lateral self, you know, or desiring the things from you, right? And you just trace, and then you can even have the intention, like, I don't know, for me, it's like, I just, like, come up and I, like, fly over with a guitar, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Fuck you! It doesn't matter, like, like, you could, like, if you think it's a person, like, you just go trace, and then you could add the intention, like, touch shit on him. Like, not touch shit on him, but, like, like, get in his face, like, go fucking talk to this man. Like, you don't need to put that intention into words. Like, you're gonna go talk to the dude, you get in his face and be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, people up there are neutral. Like, unless you have, like, some whole thing where, like, in a 3D body, people are really freaked out, or you, like, really retardedly, like, gave them a script to, like, get angry at you, which is, like, retarded shit. Like, don't do it. Like, the only reason I've done shit like that is because of, like, I had that self-sabotage thing, and I'd be like, what's the worst thing that could happen with all these powers? And I'd like make like this awful thing with my friends coming to kill me with this gun, like, and shit. Like, it was so bad, bro. Whatever. And he was like, yeah, it was so stupid. Oh my god, it was so stupid. It was the stupidest thing ever. Like, I'd tell him all these techniques too. Like, I was like, bro, like, self-sabotage is, like, really funny. It's really funny at one level, but it's, like, really retarded. Like, I've never really met someone. I haven't met someone like who I feel like is like me, who would, like, who's ever told me, like, they're, like, a self-sabotager, or they, like, a self-sabotager, like, in the same way I am. Like, I met people that, like, are, I don't know, I'm sure I've met plenty of people, like, to be honest, like, spiritually, of course, but, where was I going with that? Yeah, you don't wanna, you know, gotta be careful with it all. Oh yeah, so most of the time people are very, like, like stoic, like not stoic, but they're very loving and respective and like high vibrational. So it's like even if they're doing this, it's just because like they're just like being like they're just like a little horned up, or they're like living a little vicariously through you, or you honestly put something out. You did put a vibration out, a resonance that attracted this. Like at the end of the day, you did, and that's where all these things get fixed. Like yes, you could like throw someone out of your house. Like you could like even cause them pain. Like it's like but at the end of the day, like sometimes that may be the way, like, and you do it to cut them off and break the vibration. But a lot of times, like almost always, like it's just your friend from down the street who's like horny, or like wants to see you be rocky because he thinks you're a badass. Like it's like it's not like it's and usually you just kind of fly, you like, bro, come on, and they're like, all right, sorry, bro. It's like, don't worry, we're all humans. We get it up here, and they just like go away, you know. But so yeah, there's all that, and then there's also the idea of grounding. Like I think like a good way to say, like, if you want to move around the spiritual world, like even while you're just in your body, like you move around your mind and the spiritual world amongst people, you want to be able to swim around and always stay grounded, if that makes sense, right? That I think the problem arises when you're not grounded, and like really, because that's where you start, your movement can get caught, because like for whatever reason, like your ground, for me at least, like I need to be grounded and then my movement's fine. But if I'm not grounded, my movement isn't that fine, and I could get taken advantage of. But yeah. So also one of the things about being grounded is, like, again, like other people's energies and thoughts and desires and wills and karma, you know you will feel, you'll start to be able to feel like your energy, how grounded you are right now. And like, I can start grounding some serious karma, or like something, like so I'm grounding something, and like it starts to build and build under my foot. And that is what the serpent is. That's what the serpent is. Or you're grounding it for someone else. Like someone comes to kill you, like you actually start grounding the serpent through yourself. Like through your faith, like you can obliterate it and stuff too, but a lot of the time, like, it comes in from that creative server down and grounds. And that's like what the serpent is, and it like builds. Like you have to be, and then you have to kind of like really be careful when you lift your foot up, you know, or else the serpent will go bite someone or bite you. And I'm serious, like, you know, I haven't paid extreme attention to it, but this is a real thing. So, pay attention to the energy around your feet, your chi energy, and some of like your most, I don't know, some of my more enlightening experiences, or like more intense experiences. I'd say it's like I'm transmuting karma. I guess you could say like someone's like sexual energy. It's like I think a really good, and like you have to like, where am I grounding it to? Where am I grounding this to? There's different feelings for sure. If someone's under you, like you may like blast them with some sexual energy by mistake. But it's like if someone's coming, like if someone's sexually bothering you, or like coming up onto you, like you'll be able to feel when people are coming up onto you. Like most of the time, it's because you gave them an in, almost always, right? But like the way, yeah, like you want to just imagine your foot just goes, like your foot's still on the floor, but you imagine the foot raises through the big toe. Okay? Like I'm perfectly grounded right now. I'm free of like attachments and people's karma and shit right now. So I have nothing to like do that with, which is interesting because like I'm used to, it was pretty powerful chi energy and like karmic currents around me. But yeah, and I would say like I don't know, a nice place to be grounded for me at least is like in normal is just between your 2 feet, like right here, like right here. It like hits like right here and then goes here at one level. If you ever feel like you're not grounded, you just go both your feet, like that type of motion with both your feet, to go down into the middle of both your feet, and then into the middle of where they stand. And like you'll see, like when you lay with your girlfriend or with other people, like these currents connect and stuff like that. And it's usually, one second. Like, as long as you're not someone who's like had these weird issues like me, where you're like self-sabotaging and like don't understand your sexuality, like usually it's fine to just let your stuff go. Like, but if you're someone, but like it might not be, like you might not realize how uncomfortable it is. Like a lot of people just aren't aware of it, and it's probably it is better for you to ground yourself, because like I feel like, that's when you can get like influenced a lot. Like if someone's grounding you, like always, and you're not aware of it, like you are like kind of like, it's not a good relationship for either of you, because you're grounding them too. Like you guys both ground each other, and it's not a good relationship for either of you. It can make you think you're like uh their sexual partner. It can make you like really listen to what they have to tell you. Like you guys would be together all the time in the spiritual world. Like whenever you want comfort, like you would go to them, for example, and like you feel this stuff, and this is stuff you become more and more aware of, like as you work on meditation and spirituality and like awareness, or just clearing your consciousness, like Buddha nature. Like you become aware of this stuff, and it's uncomfortable as fuck if you're letting if your attachments are connected to people, if you're connected to their like ground, their root for some reason, and like yeah, it can be weird. Or if you're pulling their energy, like are you breathing like their chi out of their chakras, that's stuff you don't want to do. You don't want to be entangled in that. Uh-huh. So don't use it against people, because it'll be used against you if you use it against people. This stuff is kind of like we got to become aware of this, because it will be started to use against people, already is used against people. And if you're someone that's like sort of like, I don't know, it's like you don't need to be all paranoid and create all these things, which is kind of what I did. So I mean, like if you want to go create like some retarded shit, like you can create some retarded shit. And but yeah, like this is why like this type of reality, or these reasons are why like people ultimately have to get off social media, or like like Snapchat even, or Instagram especially, because like I can use images of Instagram, or like you know projections of Instagram, and put it in front of you spiritually, and then like ask you questions, for example, or even tell you answers to questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know like for example, like you're that right server that I'm talking about, like that is like inspired by your activities that you do during the day, like Instagram, for example. Like if you're like someone on Instagram a lot, then you're up in Instagram with your friends, with your family. And if someone actively wants to be an asshole, like they could potentially like message you on Instagram, like, hey, what's up, like right now. Like if you can relax and picture, like, and type hey, see who the name is that responds. See who responds. Depending on your intention and depending on who's just with you right now, you'll get a response. And it could be, and then like you'll read, and if you can read what they say, read what you say, you'll start seeing that you start typing without even knowing what you're typing, okay? And it's like real shit, like shit that's really on your mind, like really, really on your mind, in your heart, okay? And you'll talk to them and stuff. Or if you're like in a retarded place, like shit that's just retarded, like which is like on your mind and on your heart, like that you need to look at. And so it's like that's a cool thing to do. Also, your dead relatives, like they can come and help you all the time. All you have to do is ask them, hey, grandpa, can you come help me? And like you can be like, I don't know, like did they feed you a lot or something? Like my grandpa, I'm always like, yo, can you give me a butterscotch or something? And I like I just like teleport. What's up, guys? It's so funny, man. I love my grandpa, dude. I love my grandpa. I've been bugging him a lot, but you know, can you come hang out with me? Can you give me a flower? Can you give me a rose? Can my friend snuggle with me in bed? Like, yeah, we can. Yeah, you want to have like, can we have sex? Yes, like people can have sex together. Like, like really, it's like, oh, no longer am I horny. No longer am I lonely. No longer am I feeling as depressed. And a lot of stuff gets done in these higher realms, that you're not really seeing. But that's the thing, like that's part of the game is to be able to see more and more of that, like in your human body, but you want to, I guess it's sort of the same thing, like you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to rush into that because you want to be able to hold a space for it, like, because it's quite hard, especially like in some ways people are raised and stuff like that, like, you have darkness, you have like evil, or you have darkness that like can't stand the light, like literally it can't stand the light, like my darkness has had like real temper tantrums, like real ego, like fucking like almost like, like seeing like really looking like the devil, like really like it looks like the devil, like God is like after one after another, like just saving my ass, like showing me like, no, like you can't do this, like it'd be bad if you did this, and I know it's not you. And like Satan is like, you can do it, you have an ego, you can do it. And like meanwhile, like God is like really like saving my ass, you know so keep that in mind, like, most of the time in these realms, like God is 100% there, and if you have faith, active faith too, like, oh my God, you have so much power in these realms if you have active faith in God, you know and you know so yeah, it's hard for people, can't really fuck with you, it's but like they can but they can't, but if people are starting to fuck with you, you always have you can call on your ancestors. I feel like the ancestors are like, when I see them, they're like a little, they're higher up, but like they all show up, you ask them, they'll show up. You walk past a graveyard and yell wake up, people, they wake up, seriously, don't do that. It's crazy. I've had some really cool experiences with that. Like I've definitely, like, there's been times where like I don't know what I was doing. Like I woke a bunch of people. Like I woke a graveyard up like in the middle of my sleep. I'm like, oh shit, sorry guys. Like I don't know what that was about. Maybe those are my ancestors. I don't know. But there's been times where I've like said like everyone awake like right now, like really in a high state or something, and it was like, they're like, why'd you wake us up? Like it was like, I'm like, oh, go to heaven. Fucking epic. There's been times where like Christ comes through me, and like I forgot I woke a graveyard up 5 minutes ago, and then I do something like, and then like send the graveyard to heaven. I'm like, yo, that's legit. God bless.